Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live! I am your host, Justin D. Morgan, and I have once again forgotten to inflate the very deflated dinosaur. There we go. Even still have lights, because I haven't bothered to unplug them. Alright, let's see here. We have Francois and Thomas Armstrong in the chat. Francois and Thomas, hello! Thomas Armstrong says, "Come to the Spock." Uhura is reporting that the transmission is not being received on any loopback port. All right. Oh, we have Jesse I8386SX. Yay. Uh-oh. Jesse says one of my switches decided to factory reset after a patch upgrade. Ugh. And we have Jamie's Hack Shack. Hi, Jamie. Yes, I am waiting with your package with bated breath. It hasn't arrived yet, Jamie. So you'll know when it comes because I will open it on stream. All right, we've got SadMac356. Hi, SadMac. Welcome. All right, let's see here. Channel announcements. Jesse says, good thing I have a ton of laptops with a COM port on them. Yes. All right, channel announcements. All right. Normally Monday mornings are awful, but yesterday morning I received an email from VCF East. They found another room for exhibits, so my exhibit has been approved. So the Ko-fi goal is still going. I haven't had a chance to go into Ko-fi and update it, but the goal is, well, I'll be exhibiting, so that will mean I'll have extra expenses, including I kind of need to order more stuff to hand out. But anyways, you can check out the link in the video description. Jamie says, yeah, thank goodness I paid for priority mail. It's just now in Indy. USPS kind of not so hot lately. I've got a package that's incoming from somewhere in that area, and I tracked it today, and USPS says weather delay, so. Retrotech Chris. Oh, hi, Retrotech Chris. Welcome. Says, oh, interesting. Guessing it will be near the museum. Jesse says, and one maxed out LTE light with 2 serial ports. Nice. Retrotech Chris says, let me know if you want my take on exhibiting there. Yes, I will probably get your take at some point. But anyways, all right, let's see here. Oh, and we have Gutbomb. Hi, Gutbomb. All right. It's always good when Gutbomb's in the chat because he will keep my eBay purchasing strategies on track because, well, I bungled that transition. You all know what time it is what time it is now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our favorite segment, Wheel of Regrets. Here's your host, Justin D. Morgan.
Hey, who comes with these titles anyway?
All right. So, the first package is kind of a chunker. It does not really fit in the camera view. Someday I'll fix that. Thomas Armstrong says, I have stuff on order from eBay, yeah. Francois says, oh no, Dustin has been replaced by his evil twin. No, I thought I would try a new look for 2025. And also, I guess, thought I would misplace my... Gutbump says, if that's a VIC-20. Well, if this is a VIC-20, I'm going to be very disappointed. Because, let's see here, this 25-pound UPS package comes to me from, I forgot to mention the state, Georgia. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Georgia. I know they shipped this item and then it got weather delayed. So, Sadmax says, if that's DVDs, I think we're all going to be even more disappointed. Thomas Armstrong says, Blu-rays. Thomas Armstrong also guessed lots of VIC-20. No. You all are completely clear off the mark of what this should be. Although if this is a box of DVDs, well, Oh. Oh yeah, let's see here. We have somebody's address. Because this is an Amazon box that's been reused, so... Alright, let me redact their address, and I guess, just in case there's some way to turn a tracking number into... Oh. Alright. Well, you know, there might be an order number on there, too. Thomas Armstrong says maybe a mail a DVD campaign. Alright. So now that I've redacted their address on the Amazon shipping box that they used to ship this item, I really need to find my knife that I have. Oh. The reason I can't find it. I set the box on top of it. Good work, Justin. Ah, there we go. You know, that is so much easier to open with a knife. Possibly a little safer, too. Because jabbing a screwdriver into the tape is not really the greatest thing. Alright, and I already see we have some non-traditional packing material. Including, but not limited to... Alright, I cannot see the chat. I will get to the chat momentarily. But the non-traditional packing material we have today is... What are these? They're envelopes. A gift to enjoy all year. Calendars, prints, note cards, Asgard Press. Oh. Well, that's really interesting packing material. I don't think I've ever had something packed in heavyweight printed envelopes before. But wait, there's more. Call in the next 10 minutes and they'll ship it with an air pack. Absolutely free. And if you thought that I needed some new bed linens, well, forget that. These are probably used bed linens that, well, if they're in decent... Oh, look at that! It's an entire bed sheet that is going to be washed in very hot water. And we got a power cord. Always nice to get a power cord. Oh, we have more airbags, more envelopes, and we have a very strangely shaped item. Alright, let's, Uh-oh. Something doesn't feel right with this. Alright, so let's see what I missed in the chat. Jesse says, I have a ton of DVD players in various states of repair if you need one or two. Gutbob says, he has a brand new Sony DVD player. Yes, I do. Gutbob sent me one. Thomas Armstrong says, I do that all the time when I can find stuff. It's like putting reading glasses on my head. Akora, yeah. Sandback says they were probably no longer fit for purpose as bed sheets anyways. Well, actually, you could be right. They're still going to get, well, they're going to get something done to them. It might involve lighter fluid and matches outside. No, that'd require me to buy lighter fluid. Jesse says, but he needs a freshly repaired Magnavox or Panasonic DVR. It's a rabbit hole stemming from last November. Oh, we have Mike's Future Retro. Hi, Mike. Thomas Armstrong's guessing a VCR. Chris says to Jesse, I'll try to make VCF East this year, still dealing with health things, though, which makes travel no fun. We'll see, though. Harley says, matching pillowcase. Hi, Harley, 777. What? No one's guessed what this actually is, despite the fact that the item is kind of strangely shaped. I'm even going to hold the pillowcase taut. Oh, we have Christian Iverson. Welcome, Christian. Oh, my face cam angle's odd. That's because I bumped it with the box. Thank you for catching that. Harley says Apple IIc. No one's guessed it. Sadmax says, wait a minute. And I'm already starting to see that, that's a typewriter. No, we have, we have, oh no, we've got concealed shipping damage. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Uh-oh, where's my phone? Harley says, I knew it was an Apple. Yeah, it's an Apple, but it's it is an image writer. And unfortunately, this is going to pose a quandary because I bought this for a reason. The reason was it was intact and theoretically working, but there, if you look at the dip switches, I think there's a card installed in this printer. Thomas Armstrong says Steve has spare parts. Yeah, but look at this travesty. I mean, this is more than just Steve has spare parts. This is unacceptable packaging. I mean, even the front foot is cracked. Oh. Of course, the embarrassing thing is, Thomas Armstrong says, crazy glue and duct tape. I don't think crazy glue and duct tape is going to fix this printer. Now, granted, the thing I do need to check for, because let me put it this way, if this printer has what I think is installed in it, then Thomas Armstrong says it's from eBay, yeah. If it has what I think's installed in it, it may not be a total loss. Well, the printer's going to be a loss, but it won't be a total loss. However, if what I think's in it is not in it, then eBay seller is going to get a return request, like pronto. Because I'm pretty sure Chris is puts in the chat some song lyrics. They broke it from eBay. Tell me why I bought an image writer. Because I have one already. And I'm making up lyrics that YouTube probably won't care about the lyrics because they're going to content ID match on the melody. Thomas Armstrong says, I have cloths from eBay ruined in shipping. Yeah, Francois says Weird Al for the win, but eBay, YouTube's going to match it to the original song because they have no sense of humor. Just watch. Although I'm pretty sure that'd be a clear-cut case of that I was parodying the parody, which is protected under U.S. copyright law. Now, unfortunately, as broken as this thing is, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get the front case off without... Oh, that's why I can't get it off. Yeah, Chris says, well, this could work out if you could use the card in it. Yeah. There we go. There we go. I was correct. This printer does have the local talk option card installed in it. Which which I'm glad I didn't try to power it up and run the self-test to see that, because it had bounced out of the connector in shipping. Fortunately, I think the PCB is intact. Yep, I'm pretty sure the local talk card is intact, so... And, I mean, I guess the circuit board could be a handy spare part, too. I'm looking on it to see... Yeah. I don't think this is one of the later models with upgraded RAM, but anyways, yeah. Alright, so, eBay regret score is... You don't package image writers in bed sheets. Howdy, Bill Lewis. Welcome. Thomas Armstrong says, I still say lots of glue. Lots of glue would be the approach one would take if it was less broken. This thing is like... This thing is like really, really broken. This is kind of like the IBM, like, there was a monitor at the swap meet at System Source. It was an IBM monitor. I forget which IBM monitor exactly it was. But it was there in 2023. And then I am pretty sure it was the same monitor was there in 2024. This kind of seems like that same kind of deal. Thomas Armstrong says, I bet it works mostly. Well, Thomas, I ain't trying to power it up, because when you basically cause the AC power electronics to get exposed and dangerous-ified. Oh, actually, I bet this doesn't work, because what you all don't see is there is something that's been pulled out of something. Okay, you don't go sticking stuff into power supplies like this, except I know this has been unplugged, because I just opened it, and it was delivered this weekend, so... But yeah, there's actually a power wire that's been pulled off of something. So this printer is... Oh, look. It actually took such an abrupt fall by UPS, it actually broke the warranty void seal. This is how badly it got dropped. This screw is like that from out of the box. These standoffs are broken. That got punched just from shock. I don't think I can push this thing back together. Even try to power it up. There's a wire pulled out of somewhere. And the foot is actually cracked. In fact, it looks like that's painted plastic. I thought, why would Apple have painted the plastic on the foot? Okay, maybe that's actually not cracked. Maybe that's just the paint flaking off. Yeah, Sadback says, UPS, yay, voided the long expired warranty on shipping. Yeah, this is like... Alright, well, this is what I'm going to do. Alright, we are going to... Alright. I'm going to take a few more photos here. Let me take one of the image writer label, because I think that's got the serial number on it. That way the seller can't say it's a picture of another printer. And yeah, there we go. So, Frogman says, "Yo, hi all, do not get me started on UPS." Yeah, this is how badly this got damaged. We're going to eBay right now. We are going to purchases. We are going to the image writer. I am going to see that the seller does not accept returns. I am going to return the item. I am going to select it arrived damaged. The printer was damaged in shipping. The outer box looked okay, but it's obvious UPS dropped the box. From the condition of the printer. Add photos. Photos are required for this return because photos are seemingly always required for returns. All right. There's a bad photo. There's a bad photo. There's a bad photo. Another bad photo. More bad photos. All right. Lots of bad photos. I don't care that they're upside down. eBay seller can figure out how to rotate them. All right. So, there we go. And confirm return. And I have sent a return request, and I will let you know if I hear anything back from the eBay seller. Frogman says, "I'm sure seller can make a claim." Yes. So anyways, let's see here. Harley says, "Blame the person who packed it. Bed sheets and pillowcases, not enough." Exactly. Frogman says, "Wait, you got it that way. What a shame." Yeah, it was not broken in the listing photos. Jesse says, "The United Parcel Smashers." Yep, that they did. Frogman says, "Yeah, I had 2 GPU cards come from Canada and post office smashed box. Ouch." Mike's Future Retro says, "Need to reenact the Office Space Rage printer smackdown." Well, that's if they ask for give me a refund without a return. There's a good chance they might just refund it without a return because of how heavy this printer is. Thomas Armstrong says, "The last Mauser order I had got been run over." Yeah. Ouch. Seller can probably make a claim. Yes, that is true. Callan says, "Waiting for one of those via shipping too. Hopefully mine doesn't come in like that." Hopefully so. All right, well, let me attempt to set this printer off of the workbench. And I'm going to have to keep all of the packing material, as annoying as the packing material was. Because if I have to send it back, I have to send it back. I will try to, if the seller does really need it back, I will try to negotiate separately for the local talk card. All right. Okay, so the next item on Wheel of Regrets is this box that also came Saturday, and it was delivered by UPS, so I hope it's also not smashed. Just watch. I'm going to return this printer, and I'll forget to put... Oh, I missed the box. Jesse says, worst case scenario, we have 2 sources for image writers. Well, I have an image writer. It just didn't have the local talk card in it. All right, so on the next item in Wheel of Regrets, we have I'm sure I overpaid for this thing, so we have an Emerson eMouse. Dynamic resolution, 250 to 2500 DPI. The most practical mouse ever. We're going to test that, but not tonight. Or well, maybe tonight. Jesse says Mac 84 won't notice if he's missing 1 or 5. Yeah, probably not. Just don't take 8, 4, or 84. He might notice those particular numbers. So, yes, we have an Emerson computer mouse that is, now that I'm looking at it, I don't think it was never opened because that sure looks like it's been rewrapped. And the important thing is, though, does it contain the software that the eBay listing said it did? So we have the mouse user's manual. We have the Dr. Halo 3 user's manual. Okay, and much to my relief, we have... Yes, all right, we have the software disks. Whew, all right. I think these are the disks that should come with. So we have Dr. Halo 3, the mouse driver and utilities, and I think the mouse driver and utilities probably has the Emerson menu software. So, all right. I should have probably turned this over before I opened it, but I was concerned that the software wasn't in here. Ah, good. Yes. Okay. So the Emerson software diskette is where the Emerson mouse menu maker program is. All right. Excellent. Okay, now why in the world would I want the Emerson mouse? Well, I have several Emerson computers, which I have not been able to find. Oh, that's interesting. It was refurbished by Microdyne Corporation, C Limited Warranty. Callan says, throws the mouse aside and goes to the manuals. There's a first. Well, there was a reason for that, and that's because if I didn't have the software and confirm that the menu maker software was actually in the box, I overpaid for this thing like miles. I still probably overpaid for it. So anyways, I have several Emerson computers. Only one of which had a working hard drive in it. But some of the Emerson computers, I think, have shipped with the Emerson menu maker. So, and I don't think it's been archived. So anyways, I now have the Emerson menu maker, if that's the program that some of the computers shipped with. And yes, I will archive the disks if they're readable. But Dr. Halo 3 is a painting program, although I've read it's not really that great. But I bought this for the Emerson menu maker. So there we go. Limited warranty. Oh, it had a 1-year limited warranty. Oh, wait. No, only 90 days because it was an accessory. Never mind. Oh. Modems had a 2-year warranty. That's interesting. Anyways, all right, so looks like this is less of a regret. I will set this aside because we may need to use the mouse later if we are successful in fixing the COM2. Yeah, Callan says, pretty sure that's expired. Yes. Yeah, it's amazing what you can get for retro stuff. Yeah, anyways. I'm kind of hoping to maybe get at least one other of my Emerson computers set up with the original software. It's going to be a long shot. All right. I guess I'm going to go in the order that I have items stacked up beside me because That's just faster. Anyways, so why do I have 2 boxes on my bench? It's because if I open one of these, it's going to give the other away, so I'm going to open them both simultaneously. So, I forgot to look at where that shipped from. So, hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Washington State and New Jersey. Jersey. All right. So, anyways, I'm going to open both of these at the same time because these go together like East Coast and West Coast. No, they go together like expansion cards and the peripherals that go on them. Oh, hi, Jason. Welcome. Jason says, good evening from Northern California. Awesome. All right. So let's see here. I think it looks like the way they packed this, that I can pull that out of the packaging without revealing what it is. And again, all right, looks like it's not totally obvious what that is. Alan says, peanut butter and jelly, yes. All right, so let's, all right, so I will kind of hint at the fact that that card has no anti-static bag, so that's kind of disappointing. All right, so let's go ahead and get this bubble wrap off. I mean, maybe that bubble wrap isn't as static inducing as I'm afraid it is. All right, so this box has... All right, so... All right, I'm going to have to give this away. This is like over the top. But anyways, in the bubble wrap envelope, we have that box right there. I will let folks have an opportunity. Where's the bubble wrap? Opportunity to guess what this might be. Also, I'm pretty sure that, actually, I am not sure that they typed the correct letter on that label. I'm really not sure that they did. Oh, maybe they did. Maybe that is just an over-the-top capital S. Well, anyways. An MC Wouse. That is a really good guess, as weird as that font is. If I was going to I don't know, if I'd seen that at a store, I would probably have walked right past it, because anyways, all right, we'll remove a little more bubble wrap from this card. See if anyone maybe recognizes that now. Maybe we'll maybe we'll just kind of do this tease here. Maybe I'll zoom in a little now. Oh yeah, if I remove that bubble wrap, it'll be obvious. All right. Seeing that the chat is stumped and confused, we have a Microsoft import card, as in in-port. Yeah, Callan says, it looks like a mouse and a COM card. Well, actually, it's a bus mouse card. With a jacked up header pins. All right, well, I guess I get to straighten that out. Well, for what I paid for the card, I should be only half disappointed in that because shipping was outrageous. Yeah, Thomas says old school. Yeah, it's actually, I'm going to put that in the XT. So this auction was for not one, but two bus mice, bus mices, bus mouses, along with an adapter that I hadn't seen before until I started searching eBay for bus mice, a bus mouse to serial adapter. So one of these mice probably says it is serial compatible on the bottom of it. Or maybe this adapter takes care of that. We also have the Microsoft Mouse driver disk, which I'm sure is archived 20 times over. And a random PS2 to serial mouse adapter that doesn't even go to any of the mice in this set. So we might end up using this as well to test the serial ports. But yep, I kind of decided, especially because this bus mouse card actually has a jumper setting for XT slot 8. Well, by golly, this card is going to go in XT slot 8. Because on the IBM XT, that is a special slot. Alright, also, because it is going to bug me, I am going to go ahead and fix these pin headers real quick. I don't remember them being mangled in the auction photos. So I'm going to give the seller the benefit of the doubt and presume that they possibly accidentally bent them trying to wrap the card up in bubble wrap. But, alright. I think they're reasonably unbent to the point where they're not going to short anything. And I'll have to figure out what the proper jumper setting is. Probably, I would say interrupt 2 is probably the best one so that it does not conflict with... I've already dropped the red jumper that goes to that. Oh, that was a smooth choice. Well, I guess I'll have to put a blue jumper on it. I think interrupt 2 is probably the one that doesn't conflict with anything. Oh, wait, no, that is going to conflict with the CGA card. Huh. And 5's going to conflict with the ad-lib card. Oh, I may have to think about this some more. Well, it's not an ad-lib card, it's a clone card. But the clone, it doesn't have a setting for interrupt, so... Huh. I may not be able to put this card in that computer after all. Bummer. Well, maybe we can use it for, set it for interrupt 5. Thomas Armstrong says recap that card. Well, why would I recap the card? I don't see any signs that the caps have leaked. Well, I'll recap it at some point, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Yeah, I'll have to figure out what the correct settings are. I do know that the primary import jumper was missing. Alright, well, we'll figure that out later, and maybe I'll find the red jumper somewhere that I've misplaced. Alright, so let's look at the next item from Wheel of Regrets. This is the next to last item. I would like to, this is from an eBay seller in California, so hi to all my eBay sellers and California viewers in California. Also, I would like to let eBay sellers know that there is no reason that you need to pack... Oh. Now I know why they packed computer parts in a black bag. I was about to say, I wish eBay sellers knew that there is no reason to ship computer parts in a black bag, because that only makes people curious. But now I know exactly why they shipped it in a black bag. It's not because they didn't want me to see anything. Yeah, it doesn't have a tantalum. It's because they didn't want the post office to see something. Yeah! All right. They put it in a black bag so that the post office wouldn't see the priority mailbox that they vandalized. Yeah, they like folded that. Oh, and it's a flat rate box too. I don't think vandalized was the right word. I'm trying to. That they took a medium flat rate box and kind of cut it to fit. I'm sure that really. I'm sure that misused the box. I think that's the word I was looking for. I'll use the language that the USPS uses. Misuses may be a violation of federal law. This package is not for resale. Well, all right, they didn't resell it, but yeah, Bill Lewis says federal crime. Yeah, that seller could have gotten in trouble if the post office caught on to it. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Here we go. All right. And we have a motherboard. But not just any motherboard. A motherboard that has been wrapped in saran wrap, because that's what any logical person does, is wraps a sensitive electronic item in cling wrap. Although, I guess that's what the Chinese chip brokers do when you order chips, so. Yeah. Well, I mean, this board's got its problems, and saran wrap might be one of them. Alright, so. Ew. Okay, yeah, this might be a... Okay, this might be a repair challenge. Thomas Armstrong says, very nice wrapping. Frogman says, motherboard sandwich. Yeah. Alright, so we have a motherboard. But not just any motherboard. I kind of wish Jeremy was in the chat, because he might immediately recognize what that is. That, I believe, is an IBM. It's either a 386 or a 486 SLC. It's probably a. I haven't quite identified exactly what it is, but anyways, I think the code name is Blue Lightning. So that is an IBM Blue Lightning processor. And the interesting thing about that is, it is actually using an Intel processor core, but IBM added an internal cache to it, like an 8K internal cache, I believe. And, oh, I bet it's an IBM 46S something L. JP 102 and 103. All right. Yep, I bet that is an IBM 46 SCL, maybe? That V is quite an awkward spot. Anyways, it is an Intel core that IBM added cache to, and IBM actually had a license from Intel to do that, because IBM had a second source license from Intel, first of all. But their license allowed them to make derivative processors, with the caveat that those derivative processors could only be sold on motherboards, like this one, or on an upgrade module. Say, to go in an IBM PS2 computer. IBM could not make Intel derivatives that went in a socket. So, this is one of those Intel processors, one of the IBM processors that's an Intel core with level 1 cache inside of it that IBM added. And from what I've read, the level 1 cache makes up for the fact that it's a 16-bit data bus processor. So anyways, that being said, we will not be powering it up, Thomas, because this board has had a little bit of battery barf action here. And that actually probably could use some, like, cleaning. Like, all right, let me see if I can get an idea of how bad that is. On a scale of 5 to 10, because I'm pretty sure that's at least a 5. Notice I didn't even go 1, 0 through 4, because we obviously know that's not a 0. Mega says, the chat's got some great ideas. Yeah, no, power it up. Well, you know, maybe the powering it up wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. If it's not shorted. All right, let me... Okay, well, not going to power up with the RAM like that. There we go. Now I think the RAM is seated. Oh yeah, the red resistor rays are pretty cool. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that should be... All right, that's all common. All right, no short there, no short there, no short there, no short there. Common, common, common. No short there, no short there, no short there, and no short there. Well, tantalum caps aren't obviously shorted. All right, we'll humor the chat. Why not? I guess it's only appropriate that I power something up from eBay, the place where I buy the things I later regret. Although this was only like, I don't know, the only reason I bought it is because the seller listed it for like $35. It wasn't like a huge gamble. Sure, I'll be sad if I can't fix it, but it's better than some of the boards I've bought that ended up being non-salvageable. Yeah, Thomas Armstrong says IBM loves those tantalums. I don't know if IBM made this board. Because I think it might be an ECS board. Because I don't think the agreement with Intel said that IBM had to make the board themselves. Only that the processor could only be sold basically as part of a upgrade or motherboard. So I don't know that the agreement required IBM to be the manufacturer of the motherboard, although they would have been the seller, I believe. Or I guess they might have sold it to OEMs. So anyways, all right. I guess because there is a chance this could post. I will be absolutely astonished if this thing posts. Okay, well, let's just see if we get any activity. 3, 2, 1. Oh, oh wow. We have buzzing. Oh, we have a 97 postcode. Interesting. AMI BIOS postcode 97. Alright, that is actually further than I thought we would get. Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised. Oh, probably my filter. Hold on. Let me turn filters off here temporarily. All right. We'll try that again. Oh, I know what that one is. I know what that one is. The base 64K RAM failure. Frogman says it's a shaver. Yeah. Uh, I bet the RAM is not. One of the RAM modules. Oh, this RAM's probably not seated right. Oh, yeah, one of these modules is not seated right at all. All right, that's better. Let's see what that does. Okay, we might have some bad RAM. Let me... Alright, let me see if I can remember where I put the... I had some RAM the other day. Oh, there it is. Let me try some RAM modules and I think have a better chance of being good. If I can find the board they're in. Oh, that's right. Never mind. I was about to grab 72 pin sims for a 30 pin sim board. Alright. Let me grab the box of RAM. Alright. Alright, let's see if I can find some matching 30-pin sims. All right, I don't think those are going to work in this board. There's 4 modules that are 30-pin sims, and 3 of them match. Let's see, that's 72-pin. Those are 72-pin. Those are SD-RAM. That's SD-RAM. Oh, here we go. These might work. Here we go. So this is a 16-bit board, so I'm pretty sure it will work with 2 modules. So I've got 2 4-megabyte parity sims. We'll give them a try, but if we continue to have a memory error, then it's quite possible that there's corrosion under the sim sockets, and it may be a bigger problem than just bad RAM. All right, so I think that should be good. No? All right. All right, let's... All right. This math processor looks like it's not in the socket all the way. All right, I'm fairly sure we have a... Wait, was that more than 3? 1, 2, 3. All right. So, I think there's something wrong with the board. That does not surprise me. Let me see if I can find the documentation for this board. Let's just make sure that there's not, like, something I've overlooked. Although, I suspect the corrosion is probably the cause. Alright, so I think this is the ET82C390 SX chipset. Yeah, Panda SC3D6 SX direct mapped cache. I believe that is the chipset, because the chipset has a Panda print on it. There we go. There is the board's page on the RetroWeb, so I guess if anyone is curious, I will go ahead and paste that link in the chat. Known issues, leaky NiCad clock battery. Yeah, unfortunately. There is a Mr. BIOS available for this board. I don't think trying that is going to fix the RAM problem. All right, I am correct in that I have RAM in bank 0. So that is correct. and this board does support no. No. This is not a supported configuration according to the jumper manual. For 8 megabytes, you're supposed to use 1 megabyte sims. Interesting. Alright, so maybe there's one more thing we can try. Okay, so it looks like 8 megabytes, you have to use 1 megabyte sims. So it is possible that that is an unsupported configuration. However, I believe if I'm reading the manual correctly, 8.5 megabytes. I'm just checking these sims to make sure I think they are 41 or 514256. Yeah, okay. So it looks like if I put 256K sims in bank 0, and I'm pretty sure these work. Oh, wait. Actually, I think that's a supported configuration. Oh, hi, Stephen. Welcome. Hello, I know nothing about old computers. Well, we're just seeing if there's any signs of life on this one. We're in Wheel of Regrets, where I go over the things I bought on eBay. All right. 3, 2, 1. One, two, three. All right. And that is where I am going to call testing during Wheel of Regrets on this board. Because I suspect there is a broken trace on this board. Yeah, I'm testing hardware right now. We will be getting to more hardware testing of a different nature here shortly. All right. Anyways, I believe there's a broken trace on this board. Given the battery corrosion from the NiCad battery that leaked, that is probably a good guess that there is a broken trace somewhere in that mess, and it is not outside the realm of possibilities that there's more than one broken trace, and or that the broken trace is an address or data line for the memory. Now, at least the one good thing is oh yeah, there's definitely some broken traces there. It does look like that when we get to the SIM slots, that the SIM slots might be okay. All right, Thomas, we'll see you later. But yeah, I think there's some broken traces here, and I suspect that that's probably why we are getting a 64K RAM failure, is probably because this board needs some repair. I'm hoping I can get it working, though, because it is a board that has an IBM Blue Lightning processor on it. In fact, actually, there's the... I might have said I thought it was ECS. I forgot. eTech Microsystems made it for IBM. Or designed it for IBM. Oh, yeah, that... Ooh. Okay, that is a... I'm pretty sure that's a broken trace right there. I'm actually pretty sure there's, like... Okay, I think there's a lot of broken traces. This is going to be a challenge. And I've been trying to find repair challenges for myself, so it looks like this board does not disappoint. All right. I knew what I was getting into when I bought it, and it does not disappoint. and yet it might disappoint. All right, so I'm going to set that board to the side. Let's get to the final wheel of regrets and potential regret entry. Oh. I'll set the absolutely astonishing 1 megabyte of memory near it. All right, so the last item is one that I was not even looking for. I was not looking for this item at all. But I guess eBay thought that one of my saved searches didn't have enough search results, so it gave me a... here's some results with fewer matches. And I caught myself buying an item I was not looking for, but yet it was an item that in the back of my mind I wanted to find, but I was not specifically looking for it this weekend. So this comes from an eBay seller in Virginia. So hi to all my viewers and eBay sellers in Virginia. That is how it was able to be shipped yesterday and delivered today, and it came UPS ground because it only had to come from Virginia Beach. So quite honestly, I would have been disappointed if it didn't show up in a day for being that close. Because it would have had to have come right through their sorting center in Richmond to get to me. So, all right. So we have a mystery. Ooh, I don't... Oh, wow. I did not realize that it had the manual with it. Granted, I bought it so quickly that good night, Francois. I bought this thing so quickly that, quite honestly, I could have probably overlooked really bad things with it. Anyways, the gray cable might be a clue as to what it is. I will show the back of the manual. Oh, wait. Never mind. I've just realized the product name is on the back of the manual. I thought it was only the manufacturer's logo. Actually, here we go. Let's do it this way. All right, we will, all right, there we go. There we go. For the, people in the chat, we'll let you, if you want to try to guess what this is while I carefully cut the packing tape. Your clues are the gray cable and the manufacturer's logo. Potential clue being that eBay recommended it to me because eBay is learning too much about me. Steven says, Frogman, I know a channel called Frogman Gaming, and Frogman says, not me. All right. Had no idea there was one called that. All right. All right. Anyways, I'm going to start to... Frogman says, that's some kind of drive. Yes, it is. It is some kind of drive. Ooh. There we go. We will, Jesse says eBay became self-aware. Yeah. All right. Ooh. All right. So there we go. Now you see it's got a wonderful textured top. Frogman says for Apple. Yes. Yep. That it is. It is for Apple. Because, as you might have surmised, that is the logo for Applied Engineering, which made a lot of Apple upgrade products. Frogman says, "Oh, I was away from my computer." Oh wow. Oh, cool. This is neat. There's some notes from the original owner, or an original owner in here. This chapter 1 is Apple II GS and the name of the product. I didn't realize this would work with Apple II GS, but I should have guessed. But you do have to install a driver. Hopefully the drivers are archived. I may have to try that. You can use it with ProDOS 8 as long as you boot to GSOS first. That's neat. And then Chapter 2, Macintosh and the name of the product. Yep, it is a 3.5-inch floppy drive. Yes. So here we go. You need the following. You can plug it straight into a Macintosh Classic, LC, SI, 2X, 2CX, 2CI, 2FX, SE30, and later models of the Macintosh SE. And if you're using a Macintosh 2FX, you need an external adapter, Macintosh Finder 6.0 or later, Apple File Exchange for MS-DOS disks, and... Oh, you know, I thought there was a driver for the Macintosh. Maybe this is not the right... Huh. Interesting. Well, it's the AE HD 3.5-inch drive. Looking, I thought it supported older Macintoshes with the driver, but maybe that's not the version of the drive I got. Interesting. Anyways, yeah, I got the Applied Engineering HD drive. So, oh, that's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, it looks just about like an Apple drive, except the opening's a bit chunkier. Huh. Anyways, yeah, it's a high-density floppy drive that apparently on the Apple II GS you can install a driver to use it. Let's see here. Yeah, GSOS driver. But Macintosh... Looks like you've got to use a Macintosh that supports high-density disks already. Alright, well, maybe this isn't quite the drive I thought it was. But anyways, I'd been looking for an Applied Engineering external drive, so I guess there's another version of it that I will be looking for in the future. But anyways, yeah, and it looks like it's in good shape. So, alright, so that concludes Wheel of Regrets. And, oh, actually, hold on. Let's see if that eBay seller of the printer has even, All right. Actually, before we end Wheel of Regrets, I have an update from the eBay seller. I have received a message. So the eBay seller says, "Hello. Wow, that really stinks. As the original owner, I had hoped it would go on to a happier home, but instead it just got wiped out. I will refund you now. You can dispose of the printer. RIP." So, well, and I got a full refund. All right, well, it looks like I have image writer parts that I don't think I'm going to repair the image writer, but at least I've got spare parts. Because I do have another image writer. And, well, that means I have a local talk board. So, anyways, yeah. I'll have to try this in my other image writer. So, that wasn't an activity for tonight. Anyways, so I guess we at least have a conclusion on the image writer saga. That I got a refund from the seller. So, well, that concludes that. So I guess that concludes the Wheel of Regret. So we got the printer that UPS demolished in shipping that I'll hold on to for parts, but it's kind of probably past trying to repair feasibly. I mean, it might be a good source for parts. We've got the bus mouse card that we'll try on the XT. Jesse says that's the best possible solution. Yes, trying to return that printer would have caused more misery because, yeah. In fact, it's possible that I wouldn't have been able to ship it because it would have been rattling so badly that they might have not accepted it. Okay, I got the Emerson mouse that's got some software on it that may be what they also shipped with Emerson computers. And we'll try that mouse too on the XT. And I got a motherboard that's got an IBM Blue Lightning processor on it, but had a battery that really spilled its guts on the computer or the motherboard. So that's going to require some work at some point. And I have an AEHD floppy drive for Macintoshes that wasn't the version I thought it was, but it's just as cool because it looks like it's in good physical shape. Can a GTX 1050 work on these motherboards? No, not that one. That only had a 16-bit ISA slot. Generally, if it can run a GTX 1050, it's probably too new for me. Although I do occasionally dabble with new stuff for like cheap PC challenge build projects and streaming. So, all right, so let's get on to the IBM XT. Let me go grab the IBM XT, and we're going to see if we can't figure out the COM port troubles. Somewhere I have a serial adapter that we'll try. See if. All right. So I've got the IBM. I've got the serial card. I went through my stash of expansion cards and I found an ISA serial card. We might give that a try, just to at least make sure the loopback plugs work as I expect. I have the loopback plugs. And, all right, the one thing that I had in my hands last night and promptly put somewhere where I wouldn't be able to find it is I've got a DB9 to DB25 serial adapter, so I can try the 9-pin loopback in the 25-pin. And I promptly surprise. I found the bus mouse that I thought I had but wasn't sure about it. What do you know? So we have 3 bus mice I might be able to test. All right, let me turn my audio filters back on. All right. All right, let me see if I can find that loopback adapter that I misplaced. And by misplaced, I have securely stored it for future me, just not necessarily tonight, future me. Yep, that is exactly something I would have done. Hold on. I backtracking where I had it in my hand. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I've got another adapter. I completely forgot I had. All right, I don't know what I did with the adapter I had in my hand last night. I will probably find it tomorrow night. Did NVIDIA make anything for these types of computers? Yep, Mega says, not for the XTs. Yeah, NVIDIA entered the scene. It'd be in the, I think, AGP days. I think some of their first video cards were actually for AGP. They then made cards that could go in PCI slots too, but I wanted to say that their first cards might have been AGP. Or maybe they were PCI. Anyway, I forgot that Emerson mouse had a serial adapter in it. So anyways, there we go. We can use this serial adapter. All right. So let me we'll plug in the composite video cable and the TTL video cable. I've got the keyboard plugged in. We'll plug in power. I've got the compact flash card in. Let me see here. I think HDMI 2 is the one I want. The motherboard has been recapped, so... Alright, I will go to the video display just as soon as I get the... Oh, there we go. Right input on the capture input. Alright, so we'll start with the TTL output. Okay, thank you, Mega. I was starting to doubt my first assumption. Yeah, NV1 was released on PCI graphics cards first. Okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. AGP, oh, 60, oh, that's fine. 601 is a floppy drive error, and I don't have a floppy drive connected, so... Alright, there we go. We are booted into DOS. We are going to run check it, because we are going to start off by trying something I should have tried, but I didn't have the adapter on hand to do it. We are going to run the 9-pin loopback on the 25-pin serial port using an adapter, just to make sure that the UART that we ended the stream last Thursday, I believe it was, or the Tuesday, or whenever we last looked at the XT, I want to make sure that it wasn't an incompatible 25-pin loopback port. In fact, I've got two loopback plugs. I got two 9-pin loopback plugs. Let's just run the serial check on both COM ports. All right, well, I'll use, because I've got two loopback plugs. All right, so COM 1, was working, and I'll tell it that we do have loopback plug. All right, so COM1 was working. It's the UART that's soldered to this expansion board. Check it is kind of cool that it actually shows you what it receives on the input. I think that is kind of a nice touch. All right, so we'll go to COM2. And I'm going to confirm we have a loopback plug in. And all right. All right, and it is failing for the... Steven's asking, do you know who LGR and the 8-bit guy are? Yes, I know who they are. In fact, I met the 8-bit guy at VCF East 2023. All right, so the UART is still failing. So the first thing I was going to try is I'm going to take out, and I'll zoom out as far as I can. Unfortunately, the XT is kind of a long system. All right, I am going to take out my 6-in-1 expansion card so that it is not electrically in the system. All right. And the reason I am going to do such a silly thing is I am going to plug this card in. I don't think I've ever tested it, but it has a 9-pin and a 25-pin serial port on it. And I am going to put it in, and I am going to run check it on that card, specifically to make sure that the 9-pin loopback works on a 25-pin adapter, and I'm also going to try the 25-pin adapter. I want to rule out that there's some incompatibility between check it and a 25-pin serial port with the loopbacks I have on hand. Although I'm pretty sure, once I pondered it, that the fact that the register test failed on that UART, I'm fairly sure that means that the UART is actually non-functional, because I believe the registers it's talking about are registers in the UART that it probably had to configure to set the COM port up. So while this boots, I'm going to pull that UART out, and I'm going to grab a paint marker. I'm going to grab a purple paint marker, and I'm going to draw a question mark. Right, check it fail on it. Which, because it's a DIP 40 chip, there's plenty of room to write check it fail. But I will use the purple marker for any that until I can conclude that we don't have a, I just want to conclude that I'm not having a software compatibility issue with my loopback plugs. So let me plug the loopback plugs into the serial card. If this serial card passes with the loopback plugs, then we probably don't have a software compatibility issue. If it fails, I'll try the actual 25-pin adapter. Steven says, if there is anything like this in town, it's covered in cigarette smoke. I usually don't find things like this in town. I live in a place in the state where I would think I either they sell before I can buy them because they get listed while I'm at work, or it's like something people just don't try to sell on Marketplace around here. All right, so the serial card that I have, at least COM1, which I don't know if it's the 9-pin or the 25-pin serial port. If the COM2 fails, then I'll figure it out. All right, so let's test COM2 on it. Because I did check before the stream that it was jumpered for COM1 and COM2. I just don't know which port is which. All right. So that confirms that the loopbacks I have work with Check It. Now I'm going to try the 25-pin loopback. I'm going to make sure it works with Check It as well. All right. So I think... All right. So let me unplug the loopback that I've got on the adapter. I'm going to plug in the 25-pin serial loopback that I have. The thing is, the loopback plug that I bought came with a different diagnostic than Check It. So there's always the chance that some of the auxiliary signals could be looped back differently in certain diagnostic softwares. All right. Probably not, though, because there's really a standard way you loop back most of this stuff. All right. So I think this confirms... All right. Now, I just had this wild and crazy idea. I don't know how well it'll work, because this serial card that I just tested my loopback plugs on is actually for the 16550 UARTs, which obviously is overkill for an XT, so I don't want to use it. I just had this thought of, what if I unplug the 16550s and use it to test 8250s? Because the thing is, I think the pinouts are the same. I think there's some extra signals on the 16550 that are no connects on the 8250. Because the thing is, I just confirmed that my transceiver chips are good on this board. So in the event... Oh, actually, I just had another idea that's probably equally... Why don't I take the 2 transceiver chips off this board? Ah, I've got an idea. Okay, here's what I can do that will verify transceiver chips without risking my good high-speed board for a newer computer. All right. Yeah, Steven says, looks like benchmarks have been around a long time. Yes, they have. All right, so I am going to take these 2 transceiver chips off of this board temporarily. All right, so the 1488 is the one that's near the top of the chip. The 1489 is this one. I think this card was sold so that it could come with 1 or 2 UARTs. And this one it looks like this one probably came from the factory with 2. All right, so there's that. Now, I am going to take the 2 chips that I have in this board, because it's a 1458 or 1488 and a 1489. They're just modern ones. All right, so that's the 1489. All right, so this should be the 1488. Let me just make sure I can... All right, yep, that does look like the 1488. So I'm going to plug that chip, these two chips, into this board, because we just confirmed this board works. These transceiver chips are brand new from Mauser, and they are TI brand, so while I wouldn't expect them to be bad, I mean, it's always possible that one or both of them is bad, or that I might have blown them out. But anyways, all right, so now I've got those transceiver chips on this board. I'm going to put this board back in, and we'll boot it up. We'll go into check it. I'll plug the loopback plugs in, and we're going to test the transceiver chips. Because those are the transceiver chips that I was trying to use with the UART I am trying to add. So those are the ones, if they were bad, then I didn't really have a good way of validating them independently of other possible factors. But anyways, now that I've got this serial card that I discovered, and I've confirmed that it worked, all right, we'll go in to check it. We'll run the loopback test again with those transceiver chips. We'll verify they're good. And if they're good, we'll put them back on that card, and we know that we're probably dealing with a UART issue because I've now checked the loopback plugs. The loopback plugs are compatible with check it. So we'll check the transceiver chips. Although, again, I can't type sometimes when I'm talking. I'm pretty sure that the fact that the register test is failing means there's a base problem with the chip. If the register was passing, but other things were failing, I might think it was the transceivers. So I'm actually fully expecting the transceivers are going to pass. Although, I don't know everything about UARTs. It is possible that a bad transceiver could maybe interfere with it setting registers, because I don't know how it's checking that the registers were set. I don't know if it's reading them back or if it's maybe doing a loop back to see if it actually set them. Also, I'm going to run both COM ports because I don't know on this add-in card if those transceivers are for which I think they're for the 25-pin serial. No, I think they're for the 9-pin serial, which is probably COM 2, but I'm not sure because someone may have jumpered the COM ports backwards at some point. So just to make sure I'm testing them, I'm running both tests. Passed, 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 passed. And I'm pretty sure the baud rate tests are going to work. All right. So now I've checked my loopback plugs and I've checked the transceiver chips. And passed. All right. So now that I've been able to test the transceiver chips and the loopback plugs, so loopback plugs with a suspected working card worked. Transceiver chips on the tested card worked. So I'm pretty sure that the problem we're having is it's either the UART chip or there's some component bad on the card that's interfering with the computer addressing the UART. So, all right, I've got one last idea here. This is wild and crazy. I'm going to remove the 16550. That's for COM 2, which now I'm pretty sure COM 2 is the 9-pin serial port, so we'll just go straight to that test. I am going to put this 8250 in that failed the register test, because we do know that this card, the system is able to register this, address this card. So now we're going to put this card back in with the 8250 UART. And we'll run, and I'm pretty sure it's COM2. So we'll try both though. But I'm going to leave the loopback plugs out of COM1 so I can confirm that the 9-pin on this card is COM2. That way, if I need to, in the event the loopbacks work on this card, then at least I know I only need to run COM2, because I'm not going to pull both of these UART chips out. I at least want to limit my potential for damaging the socket that's on this board if I do use it for testing. So I may pick a random UART or two out of this box. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out of this box the ones that I wrote X on last time that I had this computer on the bench. Because if the UART fails in this board, then there's probably no sense of trying them, because that probably confirms that I really did have 5 bad UARTs in a row. But if this UART passes, then, well, there's something wrong with my 6-in-1 card. I mean, there still could be something wrong with it, but even if it fails, but we got to have a work. Now, I don't think I can put the 16550 in my 6-in-1 card. I haven't convinced myself that that direction is safe. All right, so I'm pretty sure. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to first try COM1 that I believe is not the one that this UART's on. I also don't have the loopback plugged in. Interesting. Oh, okay. I think that just ran it with the 8250 UART. Possibly. Or there's something backwards on this board that I haven't figured out yet. All right. Let's go to COM2. COM2 should fail. Interesting. Hey, that's interesting. But I didn't have both loopback plugs plugged in. All right. So let me plug that loopback plug back in to COM2. And oh, that is. Okay, that is. Okay, does COM1 still works? So COM1 must be the 9-pin serial port. All right, I'm going to have to check a few things on this card, because I think I got an idea of what's wrong. Okay. All right, now I'm going to remove the 9-pin loopback plug. And I'm going to run COM1 again. And it should fail. And it does fail. So interesting. The check it test requires the loopback plug to be plugged in for the register test to pass. Wait a minute. Let me try something here. All right, so if I run the serial port test on COM1 and I tell it there's not a loopback plugged in, Aha! Aha! I think I see. I think I might know what the problem is. Potentially. All right, so this 8250 that I have in the serial card apparently works. All right. So I'm going to take it out of this card. And we'll put it in my 6-in-1 card. And I'm going to double check. All right, so the alignment notch is in the silk screen. So I'm going to plug it in here. All right. All right, so I do need to put my transceiver chips back in, which I'm going to put the original ones I had in it in. Only because I kind of like to leave my... All right, so that should be the 89. And this should be the 88. I'm going to check the silkscreen markings before I plug those in. The 88 should be on the top. 1488. And the 1489. Because I think I... All right, I think I got a way to tell what the problem is. Something tells me that... All right, I'm going to let you all guess what I'll let you guess in the chat if you think you might have figured, or if you think you can take a guess at what I think the problem is based on the symptoms of this UART passes in the other serial card when I told check it that there was no loopback. And if I had the loopback plug failed in, it also passed. And it failed with no loopback plug the same way it did in this card. So, all right, so the 1488 is here. All right, and I do have the chip in the right way. Let's see, the 1489. All right. So I'm gonna let's plug my 6-in-1 card back in. And there may be a fix for this. All right. So I'm gonna plug the serial port. Okay, now actually there's no use in me plugging the serial port loop back into COM2. All right. So the UART's in, the transceivers are in. I'm not going to plug any loopback plugs in just yet. I'm going to run the check it tests with no loopback plugs. I'm going to tell it there's no loopback plug. All right. I'm pretty sure that is COM2. All right, no loopback plug. All right, let's run COM1 just to make sure. So no loopback plug. I think the problem's the 9-pin header cable. It's the one that came with the card when I bought it on eBay, but something tells me it may actually not be the correct cable. And I think that's why the loopback was failing, but I wouldn't have known it without a way of testing the UARTs out of the system. Yeah, Chris says, oh wait, just joined, so there are 2 standards for those. Yeah, and I suspect that someone got header cables mixed up. So, here's how I'm going to fix this problem. Chris says, if this is a DTK card, it literally would be the DTK cable. I bet you have an EverX cable. Yes, it is a DTK card. I bet I have an EverX cable. Oh, IRQ2 is available. Interesting. All right, well, here's how we're going to fix the problem. We're going to fix the problem by, I'm going to install a mouse card. Actually, no, I'll see if I might have a DTK cable. I will have to see if I can find the pinout, or assuming Chris wasn't in the process of possibly sending me a message with the pinout. He sometimes does that. But yeah, we can very quickly confirm that I have an EverX cable by, I'll look up, we'll get the pinout, and then we'll use the multimeter, and we will continuity check the header. I totally bet someone was like, oh, here's this card, let's, well, it's got an external header, well, let's just throw this cable in with it. It's possible the eBay seller didn't mix it up. It's possible it got mixed up a long time ago. And maybe, and the card never had the UART on it, so no one would have ever used the second COM port to know that maybe this was the wrong header cable. All right, let's see if... Yeah, we'll have to look the pinout of the... All right. Either that or the cable was simply in... No, actually, I think I tried it both ways. All right. Let me see if I can find the pinout, and we will check that. That will be so annoying if that's the problem, but it would also be a relief to know that I managed to identify the problem. All right, and let's see. DTK serial port pinout. All right. All right, so let's see here. Oh, actually, this might be easier to test than I was fearing. All right, so there's one thing we can do on the expansion card to confirm that it's using DTK pinout, and actually just visually identify which pin the ground is on. Because I've got the pinout. If it is a DTK pinout, which it probably is because it's a DTK card, then the ground is going to be on pin 9. If it's an EverX pinout, then the ground is going to be on pin 5. And I can very clearly see, or I believe I can very clearly see, that that thick trace there is probably the ground signal. And that, given how I believe these pins are counted, I do not believe that is pin 5. Because I believe pin 5 would be in the middle of the header. I believe that is pin 9. So I believe that right there confirms that this DTK card, is using DTK pinout. But I will confirm with the multimeter that that pin there is connected to a ground. And that is, yep, that is correct. Because I believe the way these pins are counted, oh, that is actually counted differently than I thought they were. Oh yeah, but that is, I think the way these are actually counted normally is like the floppy connector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I think what DTK did when they did their serial port is, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So actually that's got a ground on pin 10. That's interesting. Well, I believe pin 9 may also be a ground. Let's see, is pin 9 a ground? Yes, it is. Yeah, okay. So yeah, because the way these are counted, and I believe the way the pinout that I'm looking at is counting them, is this going to be pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 9 is definitely, it's not 0 ohms to ground, but it's a low enough resistance that I'm fairly sure that it's a ground pin. It's probably not shield ground, and I was using a shield to test it. It's probably ground is in the neutral voltage, which is probably why I was seeing a slight resistance. Oh yeah, EverX would be the bottom center. Yeah. So let me guess. If I check this cable here, I bet if I go to the bottom center, stick my multimeter probe in there, and I bet, oh, that may not work. Oh, I'm going to find the ground pin on a DB25. Because yeah, that's not it. That's not the shield ground location. Oh, hey Dave, welcome. Anyways, I suspect this is not a DTK cable. I suspect. Oh, I just realized if I'd taken a closer look, this is a different. The metal texture on these two are so different. I bet this didn't come from DTK. I bet that's an EverX cable. I bet someone just threw that together because it looked compatible. All right. Now, I have a DTK computer case that had a controller card in it, but I don't think it was a DTK controller card. All right, well, I guess what we are going to do here, because I'm going to obviously have to find a DTK header for this card. There were other manufacturers that used the two standards. Well, all right, let me see if I still have that header cable then. I think I know where if there was a header cable, I think I know where I would have put it. Because I put all the stuff that was in that DTK computer together because it was a horrific corroded mess. I think I kept it all. That's not it. Ah, there's the RAM that was in that DTK computer. And that was... Oh, wait a minute. I bet it's in the scrap bin. Hold please. Let me look in the scrap bin to see if I find the cards from that computer. Well, I found a WinBond controller card, but I suspect that's using the EverX pinout. All right, I'll you know, if I was really thinking, I would email that eBay seller and ask them if they've had anyone return a controller card saying that the COM port didn't work, because that might have indicated that they also got the wrong header cable. Yeah, doesn't have to be a DTK card per se. It just needs to have the DTK pinout. All right, well, I don't think I got a cable for this right now, but we have confirmed that UART actually works when or at least it appears to work when I check it use the internal loopback. Jesse says the standard is the standard, yeah. So anyways, it works with the internal loopback. I got the wrong header cable with the card, despite the fact that I bought this card from the eBay seller because it had the header cable, and I wanted to be able to use the game port. I'm gonna have to go upstairs and grab a game port, and we may just have to check and see if the game port works with that header cable. Because maybe that DTK used a standard pinout for game port? Maybe. What's the chances of that? Yeah, that'd be nice if I got to 700 before the stream ends. That would be a really cool goal to get. Wow, that paint marker does not come off of chips as easily as I would hope. Although, the good thing is, I'm not removing paint from the UART chip. Oh, there we go. I got it off. Alright, so there we go. So I removed the mark of shame. So now I guess I will, well, I won't draw a check mark on it just yet. Alright, So we'll plug the controller card back in. I guess we'll put that there. All right. I'm also, not that you can see it, I'm also going to go ahead and plug the bus mouse card in. Because we might as well go ahead and see if we can't get that configured. All right, for that, I will plug the GoTech in. Because I'm going to have to somehow get the drivers on this computer. I'll probably have to create a 360K disk with the drivers on it. All right, so I got the GoTech connected. We got that card in. All right, let's plug the bus mouse card in. That one I am going to plug into slot 8 because I can. I do have the card jumpered for slot 8. Not all cards will work on an XT in slot 8 because slot 8 is a special slot on XT computers. However, that I think largely was abandoned with later computers, so slot 8 is usually not a special slot. But on the XT, there is like an extra signal or two that the card has to comply with in slot 8. But anyways, there we go. We've got the bus mouse card in slot 8. I've configured it for IRQ2 because according to Checkit, that IRQ is actually not in use. I am going to plug in one of my bus mice from eBay. All right. So that once I get the drivers in, we can see if the bus mouse card works. All right, let me see if I can plug it in. There we go. All right, let me put my serial adapter back with my Emerson mouse because Emerson. All right, we will power the computer up. All right, so let's let it post. It should actually now see there's a floppy drive connected, so hopefully we won't get a 601 error. And I need to see if I can't find a Microsoft mouse driver disk for 360K. WinWorld probably has one. Or otherwise, I'll just have to copy the mouse driver itself to a disk. All right, WinWorld PC. There we go. Search for Microsoft mouse. All right, let's go to Checkit. Let's see if Checkit by chance at least detects the bus mouse card. And hopefully we'll at least detect there's something on the IRQ. I'm not sure if it'll know that it's a bus mouse, but no. No, it thinks it's available. Interesting. Either that means that well, that might actually mean I have an IRQ conflict. All right, let me see if I can get a mouse driver. Let's see, this version only supports the original bus mouse with the bundled ISA adapter. Here we go. I think this one is possibly the original driver disk. Maybe? Hold on. Let's see here. All right, so let me download the version 2 of the driver. And we'll get version 5. That also supports bus mice. And let's see, version 6. Seems like that's bigger than for an XT. All right, we'll try those 3 versions there. All right, let me get these copied to the... Oops. All right, let's see here. View group by date modified. So there we go. Oh, there we go. All right. Let me get these copied to my USB drive, and then we will try installing one of these. I'm hoping that none of these are too old for the version of DOS I have installed, but I'm going by what Microsoft shipped with 360K driver disks. All right. All right. Because this is DOS 622. Let's see here. We will start with... All right, we'll start with this one here. Wow. Setup. Oh. Oh, yeah. Just saw your message, Chris. It's probably the... Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, that's a nice picture of the 2 pinouts. Ah. Okay. Here we go. This is the picture Chris shared with me. That's a good way of summarizing the pinout. So anyways, all right. So let's go to the setup program. All right, so we are going to copy to the hard drive. All right. Well, I guess that's good. Continue. Well, that's weird. Oh, maybe I need to change the selected path to... Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm using a German keyboard, if anyone's wondering why I have problems with some characters. All right, let's try continue. All right, let's continue. Is it really... This is like the worst install program ever, Microsoft. All right, we're going to continue. We're going to change the path because apparently it... All right, and then we're going to continue because setup could not create the selected directory on drive C. Fine. I'm going to take a wild guess that... Yeah, it's the Quartz keyboard, yeah, because it's the only reliable XT keyboard I have. All right, fine. I bet all this install is doing is probably only going to do this anyways. Copy. More or less, it was probably just going to copy. Sure, that's going to grab a couple files it probably wouldn't have copied, but Chris says that installer is reminiscent of, what was it, when either Windows 1 or 2. That would not surprise me. Seems like an awful lot of stuff for a mouse driver disk. And the thing is, there's a second disk, too. Let's see what's on the second disk. Oh. That's weird. All right. So if I run mouse, will that actually install mouse drivers? No, Microsoft mouse not found. All right, fine. All right. That's probably mouse.sys. I'll clean up the directory once I figure out what it needs. All right. There it is. I would think they do the same thing too, Chris, but you never know. Yeah, Chris says, talk about overkill. Jesse says, this is where HP got their bloated driver idea from. Probably. Microsoft mouse not found. Alright, well, let's, Alright, well, let's, do some troubleshooting here. Alright, either that's the wrong driver disk for this card. Or we got a IRQ conflict. Alright, let's try this. Let's rule out an IRQ conflict. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to remove my Resound 2 OPL3 card. Oh, wait. I don't think this uses an interrupt. Oh, okay. Actually, I don't think that card uses an interrupt. That's right. Because AdLib didn't use an interrupt. The interrupt's only for the sound cards that have fancier features. Okay. We're good. Alright. So I changed the bus mouse to use IRQ5, which I believe is not being used by the Resound card, because I think IRQ2 may actually be conflicting with the CGA card. Oh yeah, this is an actual IBM CGA card, complete with the IBM CGA Snow. And unlike Adrian Black, I am going to leave my card be, because that is just the way it was. That was the cost of getting CGA graphics, was Snow. Plus, I have other CGA cards that don't do that, so. Alright, let's see if by chance... Oh, I forgot to plug the mouse in. Okay, it's probably not going to find my mouse now, but there's a warning to not plug the mouse in when the computer's not... When the computer's on. Alright, let me plug the mouse in. Alright. Alright, while we wait for that to boot, let me go see if I can find the... The reason I bought this bus mouse card is because my other bus mouse card has corrosion on it from water and or battery. So, in fact, it has corrosion on the pin edge. So I bought a card that I thought would work. Alright, let me check One World PC. Yeah, maybe I should just go grab the version 9 drivers. Alright, I'm going to download the version 9 drivers from One World. And I'm going to open the disk image for them. And I'm going to see if the README file mentions bus mouse. Because I kind of have a feeling the version 9 drivers might be easier to debug than the older ones. It's also possible the newer drivers might work better with DOS 622. All right, let me look at the README file. All right. Okay, let's see here. All right, this driver not mentioning bus mice. All right. Let me go look at the README for the version I was trying to use. README doc. I will open that with WordPad. Talk about PC Paintbrush. All right. Oh, well, that's convenient. The README file is basically an errata, because there would have been a manual in the box. Of course. Of course, there would have been a manual in the box in that era. All right. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Make it easy to install the drivers, because the version 9 drivers are on a high density disk. And XT is not going to do that without a controller card with a ROM on it. And I don't have one. I'm going to plug its compact flash card into my reader, and I'm just going to copy the drivers off that way, because... Alright, and I will start by deleting all of these extraneous files we copied off of that other mouse driver disk. And then we're going to... Alright. And I'm just going to copy the installer, because... Temp. Looks like the installer is going to actually expand some files, and... Alright, so let's copy those off. Alright, there we go. Copy the driver installer off onto the compact flash card. Go ahead and delete the mouse folder and let the installer recreate that. Let me go ahead and edit the config sys. Actually, no, I'll do that. One system. Checked. All right. All right, there we go. Jesse says cat.exe. You know, I might be able to install the drivers without running the installer, because I want to say DOS might actually have the expand command. I bet I can actually install the drivers without actually running the installer, because I believe the expand command is in DOS 622. All right. Well, actually, there's another reason. We go to where I copied the installer. Actually, the expand command is here. So I bet if I expand, I bet all I would need to do is run expand mouse.ex $, and give it the destination directory I want to put it. A, F, and Q. All right. So, okay. So, expand mouse.ex $, to C mouse. Well, I'm hoping that's working. But then again, this is a 4.77 megahertz 8088. There we go. All right. And then I think expand mouse.in $ to C mouse. There we go. I think that is... Oh. Did I... No, CD... Something tells me I did something silly. Ah. Okay. Apparently that expand command is not smart enough. Know what the destination file name should have been. Okay, that looks better. All right. Expand. Nope. I think that might be the two files I want. And the ini file might not actually be needed for DOS. I don't think I need the mouse manager, because that's probably actually Windows. I don't need pointer. That looks like that's Windows. I guess I could copy. The README file into the mouse directory. All right. All right. So let's edit config.sys. Because I believe for this version of the mouse driver, we just use autoexec.bat and load it that way because there was no mouse.sys. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of this. Yes, this is an XT. Yes, there's upper memory. yes, I have an upper memory manager installed. That's how I can load things high. Yes, that's just enough to install a few small utilities, so it is somewhat useful, and it's probably more practical today, because that would have been a really expensive memory back in the day. All right, so I think that's all right. So I think all right. Let's just run the mouse command. Oh, there we go. It's all the import card on interrupt 5. And so actually, edit should now have. There we go. Look at that. All right, this mouse doesn't roll the best. Probably needs cleaned. Look at that. I have a bus mouse. It probably does need cleaned. All right, fine. We'll hit the X key there. Oh yeah, that needs cleaned. That had dust in it. Let's dust it. Ew. It's like a dust bunny living on the mouse ball. Hashtag 90s problems. And I guess 80s problems too. Today's kids will never know the struggle of the mouse. Alright, let's see if my driver loads correctly on reboot. Because it should load up in upper memory, and so how am I doing upper memory? I'm using a low-tech memory board, and I put memory in the spaces in upper memory that have no ROMs in them, so basically, it gives me an extra 192K of memory, and 31K of it's in use, and that should include the mouse driver, I believe. Oh. But let's there we go. Yeah, there we go. I think that is mouse is using. Oh, I can't struggles of a German keyboard. Oh, where's the pipe? Thing is, the keycaps are German, but the computer, short of changing the keyboard type to German, well, the computer thinks it's a US keyboard, so all the keycaps are wrong. Why do I have a German keyboard? Well, it goes to my lunchbox PC, and Germany did offer me a US keyboard. but I wanted the one that goes with the Lunchbox PC. And I have no idea where the pipe carrier... Oh, there it is. There we go. So modules using memory below 1 megabyte. So we see we have MS-DOS is using conventional memory. Let me check. I'll check my config sys. Maybe I've got a parameter wrong. All right. So the use UMBS is using 320 bytes of conventional memory, which is actually a bargain. And that's our upper memory manager that works on an XT. Command.com's using 5K of conventional memory. I think MS-DOS still will use some conventional memory, even if I can get some of it to load in upper memory. But then, as you can see, all my other drivers are up in upper memory, including DOS Max, which is the... I think DOS Max is the... One of those is basically the EMM386 replacement. The other is basically the HiMem.sys replacement. Retro Tech Chris is asking, I wonder if CT mouse would work with an import mouse. I don't know. Jack says, did you say DOS Max? Yes, I did say DOS Max. But then you can see we got files and FCBS and buffers, last drive, stacks, install. I don't know what install is doing up in upper memory. And mouse. That's all up in upper memory. So, and then, yeah. So there you go. On XT, I got more conventional memory than I would, and it still lets me run a mouse. Jack says, or maybe Max should have 2 X's. Yeah, just like TJ Maxx. Okay, moving along. Oh, that's right. All right, let's see if the mouse is working better now that I dusted the inside of it. Because there was a great big, relatively speaking, hairball in it. Or dust ball. DOS. Oh, actually... I think that might actually be what it's... Alright, let's see if that maybe gets some of it up in upper memory. Alright, I don't know if that did the trick. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it looks like that did move some of DOS up into upper memory. Yep, that was the problem. I forgot to tell DOS to go high, because I think you have to put high, comma, UMB. So there we go. DOS is now using only 9K of conventional memory and 40K or so of upper memory. Because before we had 161K of upper memory free, now we have 127K, but we just freed up like 40K of conventional memory. So there we go. This system can run just about anything that would be runnable on an XT and puts all the drivers up in upper memory, so you could still run all your games and stuff and still have the mouse driver loaded and things like that. So, yeah, I know. That's the low-tech 1 megabyte card from Texelec. And what you got to do is you got to you got to check to see what upper memory ranges are free in 64K blocks, configure that card to enable memory in those upper memory blocks, and then you got to use that, use UMBS and DOS Max, and you got to configure them, and you get a little bit of upper memory on an XT. So that this motherboard has 128K, or has the full 640K of RAM on it. So the only thing that card's being used for on this computer is upper memory. But I largely wanted this to be an XT machine as close as I could get it within reason. I'm not going to go out and buy every last original IBM card. But I did at least want to give it a little something special, so upper memory. I am considering getting an actual 20 meg hard drive for it, though. Although, I might not. I may just stick with compact flash cards. But anyways, yeah, it's kind of a cool, my cool XT rebuild project here. And the cool thing is... Oh, wait a minute. I forget where I put the menu. Oh, there it is. So I got this menu. It's the same menu that I put on my coworker's IBM portable personal computer that I repaired for her. And so this is actually the same games I put on that computer and the same little game menu I made to make it easy to run them. Now, I have a registered copy of Planet X3, but since that is a copyrighted game that is sold, this is actually the demo version on this card, because this is an exact copy of, or I think it's just the demo version, because I haven't copied my copy into this as far as I remember. Anyways, I did want to see if maybe, I want to make sure my ad-lib sound works. So we're going to go in mode 2, which I'll switch the input here. And let's see, I do have an ad-lib compatible card. Could have been a drummer. Not really. All right. So that's good. My ad-lib card, or, well, it's actually a Resound 2 OPL3 card from Texelec. It's not an actual ad-lib. That would have cost too much. I'm thinking of actually getting one of those ad-lib clone cards to just take this computer one step closer to looking like it has an ad-lib card. But for the moment, it's just the Resound 2 OPL3, which is, for all intents and purposes, an ad-lib card. It just has SMD components. And let's see, the low-tech 1 megabyte board. So I know that's working because we're using upper memory. We got the Resound 2 OPL3. It's the low-tech compact flash card is the one that I have in here. Again, from Texelec. They're not a sponsor. I just happen to like their products because they're at a reasonable price and work well. They make things that help our hobby go. All right, now okay, that's the Attack the Petsky Robots demo, because I actually don't own that one. One of these other games here actually supports ad-lib. I don't, well, actually, Prince of Persia does. Which was the other one? I don't remember. Anyways, we'll exit that. So, yeah, it's actually my XT is coming along nicely. Now I just need to get a DTK serial cable and hopefully the game port, and a game port header, assuming there's not two standards for that. And that will pretty much, I think, complete everything well, okay, I gotta get some floppy drives in here. I don't have floppy drives for this computer. I know an XT would have shipped with one full height drive. I think I'm going to install 2 half-height Gotex, only because I just don't really feel like messing with real floppy drives for this build. But I may wait till after VCF East, because this is not one of the computers I was planning to exhibit. Although I did at least want to make sure it's good that it's working, but I wasn't planning on finishing this build before VCF East. However, TCAM says Paku does OPL3. Yes, I think that might be the one I was thinking of. All right. And welcome, TCAM. All right, maybe that was Paku. All right. Oh, you know, if I didn't know any better, I would think I was playing Pac-Man. All right. There we go. All right. Yeah, I was thinking there was another game that did it. So there we go. It's Paku. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. That got a card that can do ad-lib, which is period correct, or a good choice for an XT. And yeah, anyways, I was thinking I wasn't planning on finishing this build before VCF East, because I've got enough in mind of what I was going to exhibit. But VCF East is exactly the kind of place where I think that if I were going to run into some good drives for putting in this, if I wanted to go for original IBM drives, VCF East is a good place. So I may not do anything else to this computer till afterwards to see if I can grab some nice IBM drives from consignment. Because if I were going to take an early PC, my Talking Emerson 286 is higher on the list. And for that one, oh, that's right. I need to shuffle some sound cards around. Because the theme of VCF East this year is the sound of vintage. So Dave says, Pac-Man is nice on the Naboo. Yeah, so if I was going to take a computer for early PC era, I'm taking my Talking 286 because it talks. And that fits the theme of the show this year. But that's right, I need to shuffle around some sound cards. Because basically, I wanted to free up a slot on my Emerson XT clone. Because right now it has... Well, it would have 3 cards installed if I wasn't borrowing one of them for... Oh, I broke the expansion slot on one of them. This Resound 2 OPL3 I stole from it. But it's got a game card and an XT IDE in it. And I wanted to free up a slot so that I didn't have the thing full because I want to put one of these low-tech 1 megabyte cards in it because it's basically my Turbo XT, and I wanted to get upper memory running on it. But I didn't want to like have all the slots full, so I've got a sound card with a built-in game port pad for it. And the one I was going to use is actually the one that's in my Talking 286, because for that computer, I was going to put a slightly later Sound Blaster compatible card in it. So just kind of moving some cards forward. Because I thought for a Turbo XT, I think a Turbo XT is fast enough to play some games that actually use the creative music system. And the sound card I have in my Talking 286 has the SAA 1099 sound chips on it, so it could play the creative music system games, which is why I was wanting to shuffle some sound cards around. So there's that. I was kind of pondering what I might do for the last hour of the stream. Oh, my floor is a mess from where I did Wheel of Regrets. I could shuffle some sound cards around. I'll have to look to see if I have a DTK ribbon cable. I might have one floating around. I'll just have to do a pinout check on it. Let's see, what else was there? There's like something I was wanting to tackle real quick. Well, actually kind of looking over on my shelf, I think at least one of my Emerson computers that I need to shuffle sound cards from is that the case is actually off of it, so that would make that really easy. I'm trying to think where the other sound card is. It's in my sound cards box. All right, let me go grab my sound cards box, and we'll Jack says, when I want to do something, quote, real quick with vintage computers, it always goes as planned. Yeah. When I want to do something real quick with vintage computers, it generally goes about as well as I should have expected to. Oh, I know what we can do. So that might be appropriate. We'll get the Emerson computer over here so we can use the Emerson mouse on it to test it. Now there we go. Now I've got a real winning combination. All right, so my box of UART chips is, the conclusion is, I guess for anyone that joined later, I discovered that the problem is I have my 6-in-1 card came with the wrong header cable for the COM port 2, which is why the UARTs kept failing when I ran the loopback check. If I'd only thought to run the version of the loopback that doesn't use the loopbacks, I would have discovered that the UART was actually working in the internal loopback. Yeah, that is a brown keyboard. It goes with my lunchbox computer, which is also a brown case. It just so happens this keyboard is XT compatible because I don't have a Model F keyboard, and I probably won't have a Model F keyboard. They just go for stupid money these days. Because actually, the way I'm putting this XT computer together is, for anyone that hasn't heard the story, I discovered that it was slightly cheaper to buy the parts to put one together than it was to buy an XT computer. So I bought a case on eBay that was relatively cheap and in reasonable condition. There's a little rust on it, but nothing too bad. I bought a motherboard that was sold untested, but I was pretty sure after a recap of the tantalums, it would probably be fine, and it was. I had the CGA card already because it came in another computer I bought on eBay, but the IBM CGA card was too long for that computer. So my IBM CGA card is warped. It probably will be warped forever. The warp is probably never coming out of the board. And it's warped so bad I'd probably never be able to sell the card for what it's worth as a working card, because no one wants a warped video card. And I wouldn't blame them. I mean, I don't really want a warped video card, but hey, if it works, I'm going to use it. But yeah, tell me that I'd be able to get full value from that on eBay, and the answer is no, because that is not my camera lens. That is the board is actually that's what happens when you put an IBM CGA card in a case that is just slightly too short, and you jam it in, and you leave it in the case for 30 plus years. That's what happens. It gets warped. So, yes, I did recap the CGA card too. So, it's got all new caps. So I don't have to worry about the original IBM caps. So this isn't this is a 6-in-1 card. So no, this is kind of I'm not going to go find all the IBM expansion cards. I'm past that on this project. If I ever get the chance to get an actual XT, then sure, we'll do original cards in a second one. But for this one, I was more going for kind of the things you can use to extend your XT's life. Okay, this is a vintage controller card, but there's my bus mouse card, and I guess that is vintage. But that's my low-tech 1 megabyte card. There's the Resound 2 OPL3. That's my XTCF Lite card. And yeah, so that's my DTK 6-in-1. And my, yeah, Gut Bomb says the IBM CGA Boomerang Edition. Yeah. TCAM says it's got a gangsta lean. Yeah, it does. Anyways, yeah. So, given the fact I had a CGA card that I'd probably not be able to sell for what a CGA card goes for because of that warp, I did the next best thing. I bought an IBM XT case and an IBM XT motherboard, and I'm building an XT. If I found an IBM XT that was actually original at VCF East, would I pick it up? If it was at the right price, yeah, probably. But anyways, yeah, this is going to be my, I wanted an XT, and normally I like to keep things original, but since I was starting with since I was starting with not having the original parts, I'm going to I'm going to build an XT, but take some liberties, because actual ad-lib cards are ridiculously expensive. I mean, I don't have the original hard drive. If you knew my luck with buying hard drives on eBay, you'd probably see why I don't really want to buy a hard drive on eBay. This is an original 20 megabyte IBM hard drive. Upper memory cards would have been really expensive back then. I'm sure there was something, but anyways. All right, let's grab one of the Emerson computers, and we'll start the sound card swap, because I'm going to have to eventually do that, because one of these Emerson computers is what I wanted to demo at VCF East, or one of the things I wanted to exhibit. So let's get the XT out of the way. Grab here's one of the Emerson computers, but it's not the one I need to start with for this swap. So let me instead set it up here on top of my toolbox. All right, pick up my serial loop back because we need to start with the talking 286 because it has the sound card in it. Under that. All right, good thing I looked in that computer. I've already pulled the sound card out of it. I need the sound card box. All right. There it is. Let me just grab the sound card, actually. All right. Okay. So this is the sound card. It is going to go into my Emerson 8800 EC. It's my sound machine. Which, if you're thinking that looks an awful lot like a Sound Blaster card, you are correct. It is a Sound Blaster card. The sound machine is apparently a private labeled Sound Blaster card. It's not like a clone card. Alright. So I am going to remove my PC game control adapter from this computer. I think this was in my Emerson SX386 Elite, which I no longer needed in that computer because I put a sound card in it that has a game port. But now I'm going to install my sound machine in this computer. So I don't need a separate game controller because this has a game port on it. But it also has the CMS upgrade on it. And yeah, this is an old enough card that its DSP does not have the hanging note bug. So anyways, while maybe this is a newer card than you'd ideally have in an XT, the fact that it supports CMS mode is kind of why I thought I would put it in this computer. All right. So let's see here. Now, this computer does not have composite video out, but it doesn't need it because its video supports Plantronics Color Plus mode. So we'll get 16 colors out of the TTL video. All right, so I've got my XTCF Lite installed. And I think this compact flash card has this. I think this is the compact flash card that goes with this computer. I think. We'll know shortly. I am going to plug in my Emerson serial mouse. And I will probably find that I need to install drivers. Alright, because it does have an onboard serial port. Alright, and I need a keyboard. Probably should have kept the XT keyboard. Although it's not an ideal keyboard for this computer because the keyboard port is in the front. It'll make it work because. Alright. Anyways, alright. 3, 2, 1, power. Alright. Alright, we got an CMOS checksum error. Press F1 to continue. Current date is... Alright, so we booted into... Ah, yes, we are in ROM DOS. So Control Alt Escape will take us into setup. Alright, so the clock is set. It is slightly... Okay, I'm not going to be able to change the date and time. Oh, I bet this module was in another computer. That's why it's alright. IDE fixed disk is not installed. So boot device, it needs to be disk. Let's see, that can be none. Enabled, and actually that is installed. Alright, F10 save. Alright, so let's escape. And escape. So this is a Turbo XT clone. So it's running at 10 megahertz. Which, believe me, you can actually tell. Oh, you know that may be the wrong compact flash card. I may need to just swipe the one from the XT. Or, hold on. Let me see if there's another compact flash card sitting beside me. Because I thought this was the one for this computer. But it's appearing as if that's not the case. Alright. Alright. Let me plug this into my streaming computer and see what might be on this compact flash card. Oh, that actually is. Oh, that actually is the compact flash card for this computer. Hold please while I... reseat things. All right, let's try that again. Maybe I just didn't have the card pushed in. There we go. That's better. That's better. I guess I didn't have the card pushed in all the way. Or there's something wrong with the card. That is entirely possible. Alright, so there's something wrong with this compact flash card. I will need to repair it at some point. Alright. So, I guess the only thing that makes sense is to grab the compact flash card that's in the XT, because it will boot. Except that I will need to step through autoexec.bat and config.sys to not run the memory utilities. Because I don't think I can just jam that low-tech card into this computer, because I think it's got different upper memory ranges that are used by ROMs. And the setting for that, it's weird the way it's configured, so. Alright. Well, I guess I meant to hold shift down or something. Right, let's try that again. Alright, so we don't want to run that, or that, or that. I guess we could run that, though. Yeah, we want to run that. Sure, you can echo off. You can change the prompt. You can path. You can temp. You can mouse. Should see a serial mouse. Oh! Interesting. Well, that's interesting. Oh, I think the edge of my screen's cut off for some reason. Alright. Oh, this Emerson mouse might not be compatible with the Microsoft mouse driver. Alright, that's probably the case. Whatever. Alright. Oh. Alright, fine. Alright, let's see if the sound card's working. It should be. Alright, we'll plug the speaker in. Alright. So, let's see. Planet X3 should be a give me. Alright, so let's see here. We want 6 for Plantronics. And we do want 3. Alright, we got sound. We definitely have sound. Had to turn the sound down on the sound card. Alright, so let's see here. Paku Paku. Alright, that's enough of that grinding noise. Alright. Back of the pesky robots. That should have sound options. Let's see here. I think that is 7 for Plantronics, and 1 for Adlib, and oh wow. Alright, I could definitely see why David Murray said that Attack of the Petsky Robots was a better test for Plantronics Color Plus mode, because that looked really nice. Because he said that Planet X3 Plantronics Color Plus mode was an afterthought, and they reused one of the other assets to make it work, but with Attack of the Petsky Robots, they intended to have Plantronics support from the get-go, so it has its own set of assets and makes use of the colors in Plantronics mode better. And I agree, the colors look way better. I think, if I remember, David said that Plantronics mode in Planet X3 is sharing the CGA composite mode assets or something like that. I don't remember what he said it uses, but anyway, yeah. So that looked really good, sounded really good. So the sound card is working in my Emerson 8800 EC, which is good. You know, I guess we could see if well, no, I don't want to try I want to archive those discs before I try reading them in this computer. So I'm not going to try the Emerson mouse driver discs. I want to archive those. Pull out my grease weasel and archive them first. At least I've got a sound card back in this computer. Need to 3D print me a new bracket for the XTCF Lite because I broke the one that's in here. It's more complicated than that. It's because this isn't the bracket that was on this card to begin with, but I broke the bracket and I can't screw it in. There we go. So now I've got a slot in this computer I can put a low-tech 1 megabyte card in to get some upper memory and still leave a free slot for something. I don't remember exactly what I intended to put in the free slot right offhand, but there was like something I had. Oh, that's right. I wanted to add EMS memory to this computer. I was going to get an EMS board for it. That's why I wanted two slots. But I still wanted a game port for playing games, because games. I was going to get one of the low-tech EMS boards for this as well. Because with the Turbo XT and 10 megahertz, I thought there were some games that it could play that take use of EMS memory. Or possibly even some of the early versions of Windows. That's why I wanted 2 free slots. There we go. Now I remember why I was doing a sound card swap. Anyways. Alright. Got the sound card swap done. Well, got the sound card in here. And I guess we can take a... Oh, actually, I know what else we can do. Something I hadn't been able to do yet. Alright, so I just unplugged the mouse that doesn't work with the Microsoft drivers. I'm going to check it with the loopback plugs I have. So, this computer has an onboard parallel port. And I've got the... So, I can plug the parallel loopback plug in, and a serial loopback plug, and let's do something I hadn't been able to do to this point. I've never been able to run loopback tests on this computer. Alright, so let's go to serial ports. I think we only have COM1. And I do have a loopback plug plugged in. Alright, that's good. Alright, so let's try the parallel ports. LPT1, and I do have a loopback connector on it. Excellent! Alright. This computer has a clean bill of health on those tests. I've never been able to run the loopbacks on those. Alright. Okay, well, that's all I need to do to this computer tonight. Confirmed that we got the sound card in here that I wanted to put in here. I don't think this Emerson 8800 DC will come to VCF East, despite that it was one of the first Emerson computers that was seen on the channel. It's just a Turbo XT clone. There's really nothing super special about it. I just wanted to... Because actually, the computers that so far that are on my list, I want to bring one of my Yamaha music computers. So we'll have a stream where I need to look into those because I think I've got a bunch with broken keyboards. So I got to go through them all and figure out which ones work and which ones need keyboard repairs. I want to bring one of those. And I think I'm going to bring a Commodore 64. Or maybe a VIC-20. I don't know. One of the two. I got to bring a Commodore because I got to keep up with Commodore. And then my talking Emerson 286. And I was going to bring an LC of some type. And the reason why I wanted the image writer local talk board is because I was thinking of bringing at least 2 Macs and setting up a local talk network with the printer, because I had an idea for something like interactive that, I don't know, could involve something kids could take home with them. But it'd be good to at least have 2 Macs that could be capable of doing it, but not having a printer connected to each would necessitate a local talk port, or local talk. But anyways, so that's kind of my thoughts right now on what I was thinking of. Yes, Jack, I did find a local talk board. You missed Wheel of Regrets. I had found an image writer on eBay that the seller had taken pictures of the dip switches, and I could tell that the dip switch was in the position that indicated there was an expansion card. That printer got damaged in shipping, but it did have the local talk card installed, and I suspect that card survived shipping. Yes, Jack, someone was going to clone it, but I had... Yeah, that's okay, Jack. The problem is, it's all good that someone's working to clone that card, but would it be done before VCF East was the problem? Because honestly, this idea that I have, I want to try sooner rather than later. So, because actually it'll also involve building a couple of Nethernets from jcm-1.com, one of which I need to build with a different serial port connector on it. So I kind of actually want to test that sooner rather than later, so that if it doesn't work, I know and can pick another idea. So it was kind of one of those, I really did need the local talk card sooner rather than later. The thing is, though, I'll probably still pick up one of the clones because having two image writers was actually something that would have been nice to have for the interactive thing I was thinking of. But yeah, it's kind of the... Was I sure that that clone would be done in 2 months and that I would be able to get one was the question. And I mean, it's entirely possible it could still be cloned and done in 2 months, but Cupom says it's hopefully going to be ready by Marcintosh. Well, the thing is, I probably really need to know if my idea is going to work, like, in February, because it'll involve buying something that I don't really want to buy unless the idea is going to work. So it's kind of one of those. I need to test the viability of my interactive idea before I buy this other thing, and would still need to make sure that comes in before VCF East. So yeah, there's kind of a Jack says, ouch, that's soon. Jack says, I need to get my laser writer NTR working for Marcintosh. Yeah. So anyways, it's kind of one of those, yeah, I would love to have just waited for the clone, but I would have also liked to have had a second image writer for the idea, but one would work. I mean, it's not the only printers I have that would be local talk compatible. It's just easier to get color print ribbons for than my other color local talk compatible printer. I think it's local talk compatible. I could be wrong. It might not actually be local talk compatible. I might have to go look and see if it's local talk compatible. It's a style writer, but I don't have a color cartridge for it, and I don't know if I can get a color cartridge for it. So, anyways, yeah, it may not be local talk compatible. Well, the other thing is, I think I've got a way of connecting a modern printer to a local talk network, so I could have a second printer that would be under the table and possibly be faster printing. But anyways, I kind of want to prove things out next month so that I can make sure I have the items for the interactive idea I have. So yeah, if you wonder some of the things the goal money, the goal money might go towards, yeah, it's things like that. I'm not ready to publicly reveal my idea for thinking people will think it's silly or will steal my idea for their table. So anyways, all right. Well, I got the sound card in this computer because I'd forgotten that the Talking 286 has the sound card in it already that I had bought to put in it. Jack says, I had my modern laser and image writer available on Global Talk last year, and I got about the same number of prints on each. Gupom says, I'm pretty sure he meant modern printer is hooked up through NetTalk. Yeah, I was kind of trying to... Neta talk. Okay. And all my Macs can use it, and of course, it's what everyone on Global Talk printed to when they printed to me. It was called Totally Legit Laser Writer, but it's actually a modern HP laser printer. Jack says mine was fake laser writer. I might have to look into that Neta talk. Jack says, but this year I'll have a real laser writer. Maybe this year I'll manage to get something set up on... Well, I'm not going to promise. Partly because if I do my interactive idea, I will need to save all my color ribbons for VCF East. Unless someone wants to sponsor me buying more color ribbons from Mac Effects. Maybe Mac Effects might sponsor the idea, but let me make sure it'll work first before I'd even, see if that would even, I don't know. Kind of one of those, I don't know. It's a weird idea. Jack says, Netatalk is awesome. I have it running on a Pi that's in one of Bruce's quarter-size Quadra 700 replica cases. And Capom says, I plan on using my LC475 as my Global Talk router this Marcintosh. I need, basically for my idea, because I'd probably have at least two Macs that would be connected by local talk. Because at least one of those Macs is not going to have an Ethernet port, and actually, both of those Macs, at least of the two Macs I want to take, neither of them will have a Ethernet port for various reasons, not negotiable. Which is why local talk was something I need. I don't really want to have to take another computer to be a bridge unless I can figure out a way to make it part of the exhibit. Because one of the computers that I was going to take, which I'm not ready to reveal yet, there is no Ethernet card for it that I'm aware of. And the other one, its PDS slot already has something else in it that would be part of the exhibit, so not going to be on Ethernet either. Jack says, I'm going to use my 2FX as my router again, but I feel like I owe it a power supply recap. I ran the thing continuously from March to June last year. Yeah, we'll see if I get something set up on Global Talk this year. It depends on... Unfortunately, my color ribbons are earmarked for VCF East if my idea works. Capom says, unless I'm mistaken, if your goal is Global Talk, you're going to need some sort of Apple Talk, not necessarily Ethernet, but something that speaks Apple Talk. Well, for VCF East, my goal is not Global Talk because I'm not going to connect the exhibit to the internet. I would need Apple Talk. For Marcintosh, I might set up something on Global Talk, but it will not be involving my color image writer ribbons because those are for VCF East. Because I have, I think, one color ribbon and 2 refills from Mac Effects. And I'm quite honestly not sure that would necessarily be enough, depending on how popular my exhibit table was. However, Brandon Bishop did a video a week or two ago where he was showing off a driver for the image writer that does a better print algorithm than Apple's driver, where it will actually do the yellow and then the magenta and then the cyan and then the black, so that your ribbon doesn't basically become a muddled mess of colors on all the ribbon colors. So basically, by the time you get to the bottom of the page with one color, the top of the page is dry enough that then when you print with the second color, you're not transferring near as much ink onto the ribbon onto that second color. And it also prints from lightest to darkest color to further minimize the effects of color transfer on the ribbon. So that's another piece I need to test, because I don't want to find out how quickly kids go through an image writer ribbon in 2025. Although it is kind of funny watching it print. I don't remember that back in the day, but I kind of think it is a somewhat older driver. I don't think it's a new thing. I forget the name of it, though. I'd have to go back and look at the video. So, all right. Well, I guess considering it's like a quarter till 12 and sometimes it takes me time to wrap up the stream, I think this is probably the point where I'm going to start to wrap the stream up. Jack says, oh, that's super neat. I didn't realize someone re-engineered Apple's drivers. Okay, well, at least one thing I can do, because I don't think there's really anything else I can start and finish in 15 minutes. I can go find Brandon Bishop's video, because I saved it to my watch later list so that I can find it again when I actually go to install the driver on a Mac. Let me go find that video. And let me see here. And let me share the copy link. And we will, there we go. All right, so there's Brandon Bishop's video, if anyone's curious. And let me see if his description says what the driver name is. It's the Mac Palette 2 driver. Yeah, here we go. So it's by Microspot, apparently. Yeah, the Mac Palette 2 for the Image Writer 2. The color driver for the Image Writer 2 printers. If you want to print color images on your Image Writer, this is what you'll need. Included with the driver is a background print spooler. Works from Mac OS 6 up to 9.2. Yeah, that's actually what I wanted to check out. Yeah, Jack says, lol, photo quality printing. Okay, so it's not what I would call photo quality, but if you look at just the thumbnail of Brandon's video, it is actually, it looks cool. Yeah, Jack says that's some pretty good OS compatibility. Yeah, I know. So, oh, all right. We'll see you later, Frogman. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, I want to check that driver out. So maybe we'll do a stream where I check that out too. After all, I do need to install that. I've never actually seen if my image writer works. I know the one I got this weekend. Oh, bummer. I just realized the one I got this weekend is the case color is so much, well, it's slightly nicer than the one I have. The one I have existing that's sitting over on the shelf is kind of cool, though. It's got a asset tag of, it used to belong to Marshall University, so not that I went there, but it's kind of cool nevertheless. My brother picked it up for me at a estate sale or something, and it was in the area of Marshall University, so I know exactly why that asset tag's on it. It definitely came from Marshall. Anyways, yeah. So anyways, I want to check that print driver out at some point. And yeah, we've got plenty of other repair live streams coming. All right, so Thursday. Let me make sure I still know where it is. Yes, here it is. I wasn't on Dave's stream Sunday because I was looking for this in the basement, among other things. I was also looking for a crystal that I thought I had but couldn't find. But anyways, I was looking for this because the crystal was for tonight's live stream, but I couldn't find one, so I went on without it. I was going to build a UART tester with an Arduino, but instead, well, we tested things a different way. This has the board we need for Thursday's live stream in it. I also couldn't find it. It took a while to find it on Sunday. So, Thursday, we're going to pull the Sun workstation out. I have a repair board in this from Glitchworks, and we are going to repair the NVRAM module in my Sun workstation, and hopefully then I won't have to keep reconfiguring the NVRAM every time I boot it. So that'll be Thursday. And then we'll have plenty of other live streams upcoming, including some where I'll be looking at things that I want to take to VCF East to make sure they're in working condition. So the Yamaha Music Computer is probably up for a stream sooner rather than later. I may look into that image writer driver sooner rather than later and get that local talk card installed and build some Nethernets. I'll have to wait for my JCM order to come in. Actually might be in by Thursday, but I want to get my Sun workstation fully working because that NVRAM module is really, I think, the last piece of the Sun workstation puzzle. Probably won't take that to VCF East because I know from past VCF events I've been to, there's inevitably a lot of workstations that system source sends, and even the VCF, I guess. So I think, unless I can find something cool that Sun does audio-wise, I probably won't bring a workstation. The Octane is not coming. No. Even if it has a cool boot-up sound. Unless I need ballast for my car, it's not coming. Anyways, and then, of course, many other opportunities. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I know of that I was going to look at sooner rather than later. Possibly, I don't know. I'm looking. I'll think of something. Yeah, maybe next week we might look at the image writers. Quite possibly something we'll look at next week. Because I should have my Ethernet order from Joe by then. Because I need to build a couple of those. And, yeah, music computers. I may start to look at those next week, too. Especially because if I got to repair keyboards, that might take a while. But anyways, with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and draw the stream to a close so that I don't stay up too late. So don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I go live next. If you don't turn on notifications, you won't know when I go live. And good night, Callan. And yeah, share my streams with a friend. I'm trying to get to 700 subscribers because that is a cool number. I was so close earlier today. I have no idea how close. Oh, I am really close now. Yeah, if you know a friend that might enjoy my streams, let them know. Because I'm apparently 2 subscribers away from 700. And that would be cool to get to 700 subscribers by the end of the month. Totally an achievable goal, because we have 3 more days in the month. So, there we go. Try to get me to 700 by the end of the month. Just need 2 subscribers. Maybe 3 to make sure there's not a bot that YouTube deletes before the end of the month. But, yeah, 2 subscribers. The dinosaur says please. And with that, I'm going to wish you all a great rest of your evening. Glad you all could join me, hang out in the chat, provide moral support, technical support, just otherwise cool commentary, and being otherwise cool in the chat. I hope to see you all Thursday or at another live stream, and hope to see some of you all at VCF East. Because for those of you that didn't catch the announcement at the beginning of the stream, they found another room for exhibits, so my exhibit application was accepted. So I will be exhibiting at VCF East. So that was kind of the good news for the beginning of the stream. Anyways, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.